It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 3rd of October in the year of our Lord 2024. Season 15, episode 13, 682 times. You have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, pop culture, entertainment, and pro wrestling. This is our first episode exclusively at the Sunset Lounge DFW. So if you're seeing me right now, thank you for being a part of this new venture that we are a part of. We are very excited to be with Sunset Lounge DFW. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast. And man, it's going to be a busy October. We're going to tell you all about it coming up. But I'm not alone. Because Lord knows, I say it all the time, nobody wants the solo adventure again. Gets a little weird. He's right.
I like how you reveal me like it's going to get less weird.
No, it's going to be better because I have somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
He is my co-host and a man who was spared last night. He is
spared. You know, I still maintain it would have been funnier if you liked it, but we don't force the issue.
When I didn't get through to you when I called you after the movie, I'm like, he doesn't want to hear what I'm about to say.
Honestly, I was already out cold. And you know me, I'm usually awake until 3 a.m, but last night was a special occasion.
So this weekend, Killeen, Texas, come join me. I will be at Giganticon. This is the 3rd year for that show in Killeen. It's going to be a great time. I am hosting 2 Q&As back-to-back right off the bat. A couple of great comic artists. One of them, oh man, he does some of the lithographs. And if you saw a picture I put up at Giganticon, I think it was 2 years ago. No, it was 2 years ago, where I put my DJ booth in front of this huge banner that was a Voltron. That's him.
Yes. Oh, that was a really slick picture.
He did a Godzilla Kong this year. That is dope. Ooh. And Godzilla's got the gauntlet on. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I'll Kong.
That's what I meant. Yeah. The one that's on the right of the picture. And I will also be talking to 3 young ladies from Austin, Sanderson Sisters ATX. They go around to a lot of shows cosplaying the Sanderson Sisters because this one's very hocus pocus focused. See what I did there? Didn't even mean to.
I was going to ask.
But they're great. The cosplay is dead on. I'm very much looking forward to talking to them. And as normal, I will be hosting the adult cosplay on Saturday at 5. And we're doing a kids cosplay parade Sunday.
Nice.
At 4. Also, tomorrow night, if you are in the Killeen area, make sure to stop by Gambit Social House, where the pre-party will be from 7 to 10. I'll be providing the DJ thing. Did I tell you about Gambit Social House, Alex?
I'm still trying to catch up to the fact that you didn't use the Gambit voice.
I feel like everybody does that when they talk about the place. It's
so
a fairly
funny.
new joint. They have axe throwing and all kinds of things. Okay. My DJ booth will be between the pairs of axe throwing lanes, but the axe throwing will not be open. Let's be clear on
that. I was waiting to get that. And your next crawl says, God.
And then the Saturday night will be the after party, where I will be hosting karaoke from 7 to 11. So I'm going to be coming kind of close to the ground. So make sure you come out, come hang out. I am very much looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's something I'm trying to do here, and it's not giving me the thing that I need. There's too many things on my list here. One of the things that this place has, that Gambit Social House has, is they have escape rooms.
Okay.
There are 4 escape rooms. One is did you let Dawn in?
Yes, I did.
I was very confused.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so I just took care of it.
One of them is Scooby-Doo themed, and they have one that's Batman themed.
Interesting.
I'm very excited about this.
Have I told you how much I hate escape rooms?
I just don't know that you went in the. I enjoy escape rooms if I don't like scary escape rooms.
Oh, but I like where I have the issue.
I like puzzles and clues and stuff like that. Like that's my thing. So like one I went to, like somebody's trying to steal an item and you have to get to the item before they can steal it. And it was kind of fun. And then another one was like, you were a CSI team and you were proving the innocence of a guy. And that was a lot of fun.
No, I don't suffer people who don't think like me well, especially when there's a ticking clock. It just makes me that much more aggravated.
Okay, so here I got the list now. There's one called Mayday. They also have darts and sports and stuff and food. They're gonna. It may not be open yet, but they will have a Star Trek themed escape room, Scooby Doo, Batman, Dark Knight, and Narco. So, come on out this weekend. Come hang out with me next Friday evening, though. Big deal. Sunset Lounge DFW. We're gonna have that on our social media here very soon. Smokey Rose in Garland. Very much looking forward to this from 5 to 9 next Friday. Sunset Lounge DFW will be having a live shebang with all the hosts from all the shows so you can get to know us and we can get to know each other because we're all virtual. So sometimes we don't have a lot of crossover. We're going to have a great time. Come join us if you can come out. I know Don will not be there. Alex is checking his schedule. I will be there. So come on up. Tell me you're a member of the Empire and I'll shake your hand. Not buying you a drink.
And for those reaching out right now, we know.
Go ahead, Alex. You're good.
We know there's no chat room or anything, but we still appreciate you checking in.
Yep. Please do. Let's see here. Let us dive right.
You know I'd be there. So.
I know. All right, boys, let's dive right in. We've got a lot of RIPs this week. This has not been a good week.
God, yeah. No.
First and foremost, as we get into sports, Dikembe Mutombo at 58 was fighting brain cancer. I had no idea.
I did not know as well.
And we go into baseball. Pete Rose at the age of 83.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy. What do you? It's Pete Rose. Like those two. Like you don't have to tell stories because they are who they are.
But I would like to take just a moment for that one because
please do.
Pete Rose had the Ballpark Cafe down where Rob and I are from.
Mm-hmm.
Many times had me and the family as guests, got to see him do shows. He was always very kind. He would love to hang around the batting cage in between sets on his show or different things like that. And got to see him as a child, got to see him as an adult. I'm not going to deny that it was at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, but having had multiple conversations at multiple instances in life, the man always was villainized in a lot of different ways. But I can tell you, for those of us that got to talk to him, got to know him on a personal level, he was never anything but an incredibly kind and hyper competitive guy. And that's why for the longest time before the book came out, if anybody asked me based on my history with PJ and Pete, no, I absolutely believe he bet on baseball, but you know what he never did? Bet against himself. I guarantee you that. Yep. I will stake my soul on
Not going to debate that on
any
level.
Because of the rule, he was not allowed for the Hall of Fame. Do you think now that he passed, they'll put him in?
Honestly, if you know the story about the fact that he was, I guess I have to use the term allegedly, even though it's kind of been proven, he was going to be reinstated not long after his ban by Bart Giamatti, who then passed away from a heart attack before he could. And that just became I really don't want to use the term cross to bear because that's really out of place. But that just became the thing. Yes, I think there'll be something for him in the Hall of Fame, but I think that they will do something more of certain members, whether it be Eddie Seacott, Joe Jackson, Pete Rose, and have a acknowledgement to player service section of the Hall of Fame versus truly being inducted, because they can't be inducted and experience it for themselves at this point. But the man was a legend on every front.
Charlie Hustle.
And he's an all-time hit leader.
Yep, and
No one
I
has more
love
hits than
the
him.
I love the embracing of certain aspects of that, to the point where when sports betting was legalized in the state of Ohio, not talking smack this point, they did open a book in the Cincinnati Reds ballpark first, and Pete placed the first bet.
Well, and I played a little bit of Little League as a kid, and of course, I enjoy baseball. But one of the things they tell you is like you don't have to slide headfirst into first. And Pete Rose was just like, "Go pound sand." I'm sliding headfirst into first.
He slid head first into everywhere.
Yeah.
There is generations of mothers who are mad at Pete Rose because people like me saw that and went, "Yep, doing that."
On to other headlines. Shout out to Inter Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Messi, five goals in 5 games. They now have home field advantage throughout the MLS playoffs.
Nice.
I appreciate that they have the pink jerseys, Miami and the whole thing. I prefer the pink on black.
Yes.
That's more Miami to me.
Well, it suits because it's got the pop of color that the pink gives you, but it's got that classiness that you would get from like Biscayne or something along those lines with the black outline.
So let's go Inter Miami. Inter Miami,
Absolutely.
FC Dallas, fan of both because I live here and I lived there. I heard an interesting stat today that I think at least one person on this panel will be intrigued by.
Oh, okay.
Are you aware that in about 3 minutes, we will officially have football for the next 55 days straight? Let's go!
I really appreciate that, but the best reveal I saw may or may not have used Sammy Hagar repeatedly when they were talking about. But I was telling this to Sean yesterday, and it was like it felt weird to say that out loud. And then Sean, who is not partaking in football for the first time in years, literally said, "Well, it's just Tuesday and Wednesday to account for. It's probably college games nobody wants." And I'm like, she's right. No!
Football is football. Football is life.
Field goal.
All right, let's get into college football this past week. Army with a big win over Temple, 42-14. Miami squeaks one by Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the University of Miami. By the way, Florida was on the bye, but I still took the bye -7. Rutgers wins over Washington by a field goal. Syracuse big over Holy Cross, also 42-14. Number 20, Kansas puts 42 on Oklahoma State. I'm still trying to get used to Indiana being ranked in football. It's just not something that connects my brain.
It feels like it wraps around about every 12 years where Indiana starts putting a team together. And then when they get into the Big Ten games against, the real heavyweights like Michigan or Penn State, or it's usually Michigan State to start where it's suddenly like, oh, maybe not.
Or do you mean the conference that's about to merge with the SEC and just tell everybody to go pound sand?
The big SC.
But Indiana does beat Maryland by 2 touchdowns. Number 10, Michigan squeaks one out against the Golden Gophers by a field goal. Number 12, Ole Miss up. Oh, why am I looking at these? That was 2 weeks ago. We're not at week 6, are we?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Oh, yeah, we were in week 5. I don't know why I was. Oh, it's because that was an earlier game. That's why.
Yeah. Well, plus you also have, remember, college is always 1 week above the NFL.
Yeah.
At this point.
Oh, it's Kentucky upset Ole Miss, but it was Georgia they almost beat.
Correct.
SEC
Georgia, they hung into it for a while.
Yeah. Number 17, BYU beats Baylor. South Florida just gets taken to the woodshed by Tulane. UNLV ranked in football right now.
Well, they're undefeated, but that's not even the big story with that school. I don't know if you've seen any of this with Sluka.
59-14 over Fresno State. Go ahead.
So one of the things that people were concerned with has come to fruition, just not at the school that people thought it would. I am drawing a blank on his first name, but the starting quarterback for UNLV, whose last name is Sluka, was playing lights out through the first few weeks, decided that his NIL deal wasn't up to the level that he was playing at, and decided to just sit out the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And said he would come back if the NIL deal was revisited. And they just said, watch what's next.
Yeah, $100,000.
So kudos to UNLV for just saying, nah, bro.
A&M,
then there will be the transfer portal.
A&M and Arkansas play in Arlington for the final time with A&M. That was a boring game.
Holy it's A&M and it's Arkansas. Name me the last time either of those actually mattered.
Oklahoma working their way towards the Red River rivalry, which is next weekend, as they beat Auburn 27-21. Number 11 USC by 17 over Badger. Notre Dame back on the right track. Number 14 beats number 22 Louisville by a touchdown. Colorado wins again at UCF.
Duke Travis Hunter is amazing.
Duke goes on to the Tobacco Road rivalry and beats North Carolina by a point. Your FAU Owls all over the Wagner. I'm calling him Wagner just because I like that pronunciation. 41-10 in that.
We had to get our beat down in for the year because it ain't gonna happen again.
Number 2 Texas all over Mississippi State, and also announcing that Quinn Ewers will start against Oklahoma over Arch Manning. I get it. This is the game. Like, these two teams, if they went 1-for, this would be the one they'd want, especially at this point in the game, because Oklahoma State not really in the conversation anymore, although I think that game should still be played. Now, Texas A&M, that's also back on the table. The SEC, even though we're not as much Southeastern as we used to be, they're getting some of the best rivalry games in the game.
Absolutely.
And if this thing with the Big Ten happens, it's over.
Now, the quick asterisk we have with the Arch Manning versus Quinn Ewers, if you do not know, even if Arch Manning played every game this year, or in its entirety, he still would not be draft eligible until after next year. Not even next season, next year, because of how the rules are with 3 years removed from high school.
Mm-hmm. FIU beats La Tech by a touchdown. Number 15, Clemson all over Stanford. Number 16, Iowa State blanks Houston. North Texas, boy, sucks to have the under in this game as they beat Tulsa 52-20. Number 3, Ohio State beats up on Sparty. Number 7, Penn State over number 24, Illinois by 2 touchdowns. Alabama over Georgia, and another game it really sucks to have the under in. 41-34 is your final in that one. Number 13, LSU.
That game was awesome. I don't care what anybody says. That game was awesome.
Those two teams rise to each other every year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13, LSU but beats up on South Alabama by 7 touchdowns. Florida State loses big to SMU, 42-16.
Mm-hmm.
Tech with a 3-point win over Cincinnati. Number 18, Utah upset by the Wildcats of Arizona by 13. And number 6, Oregon wins.
Sir, it is October, so now we know it as Arizona.
All right. In the NFL, shout out to Jared Goff. First of all, loved the unis Monday night.
Yes, I dug those blackout.
The bright blue helmets. Oh, right now tonight, Atlanta wearing the red helmets. With the
and I don't know if you have this on the run sheet for later. Not the best Lions jersey of the week.
I don't.
But it falls under music talk.
Oh, okay. But Jared Goff, go ahead, please.
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted me to throw it in now or just tease it for later.
Go ahead.
A certain non-thick, non-bright character found out he was going to be a grandfather with a custom Lions jersey and an ultrasound. So congratulations, Eminem and Haley Jade.
Oh, very nice. But Jared Goff goes perfect on Monday night, 18 for 18. You had that look on your face.
It catches a touchdown.
What? What happened? Are you ahead of me?
We are disconnected. We have a gap.
Okay.
I think I might be behind.
MCDC doesn't realize it's a perfect game and does not give Jared Goff a game ball in the locker room afterwards. But, first of all, Jared Goff's not worried about stuff like that. Number two, MCDC can do whatever he wants, and I'm here for it. Elsewhere in the NFL this past week, last Thursday night, the Giants were getting 5.5, and they got there by a half a point because they hung in with Dallas. Dallas should have obliterated them, and they only beat them by 5.
Well, absolutely. But here's the other problem. Here's how bad Dallas is. Both of their touchdowns had to be basically enforced by the refs picking up flags, and then another one had to stop a Giants drive when they called face mask on the person receiving the face mask on the Giants. And then we have all the rumblings of somebody knew that the spread was 5.5 because Brandon Aubrey came up and pushed his first field goal in 2 years just to make sure it didn't clear.
Also,
and for the record, I had the Cowboys at 4.5, so I don't care.
Atlanta was getting 2.5, but they actually win outright by 2 over New Orleans in a very strange game. The Bears beat Chicago. They beat Chicago. Well, they do beat them in Chicago. They beat the Rams 24-18, and they were getting 3 in that game. Minnesota makes sure that Green Bay doesn't cover because they actually win 31-29. Don, what happened to your Steelers this past week? I was a crazy bit.
Yeah,
by 3 to Indianapolis on the road.
They always do good up front, and then they lose they always go like 2-0, 3-0, then they start to choke. Happens every year.
Denver
the playoffs at the end.
This one was more injury based.
Yeah.
Denver covers, or New York covers, because Denver only beats them by a point, and they were getting 8 of them. Tampa Bay all over Philly 33-16. Cincinnati giving 4.5, but they were okay because they beat Carolina by 10. Houston. How do you not blow that team out in Jacksonville and only win by 4, but a win's a win? Commanders. I believe I had that one.
I think we all did.
Woo! 42-14 over Arizona. San Francisco 30-13 over New England. The Raiders. They beat Cleveland by 4, and he wants to go to the Jets.
Well, yeah, he saw what Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew were doing. But the other one that's sneakily coming up is the Saints.
Well,
watch for that one.
I've also heard tell of maybe Baltimore getting involved in that bit, and if they get him...
See, I had not heard that one, but that one makes a lot of sense.
That and why is Devontae Adams, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, just take all my predictions and throw them out the window.
Same.
It's that simple. Kansas City beats the Chargers by 7 because it's almost time for Chargers to Charger. Baltimore. What happened to Buffalo? My defense was like, here's a goose egg for you. Although I did win. That was my biggest victory of the year so far. I'm 3-1 right now.
I got smoked everywhere. No more.
They beat Buffalo. They beat Buffalo by 25. Tennessee over Miami. We all knew that was going to happen.
But the thing with Baltimore is they have a great coaching staff that knows how to attack weaknesses, and they knew that Buffalo had not fixed their second level with Matt Milano out for the season. So they were like, you know what? Let's run it. We get past that defensive line, and we're home. And guess what? It took one run from Derrick Henry to prove it.
Tonight, currently, Atlanta is on the board. Baker Mayfield taking the field for the first time tonight. 7-0. Atlanta's giving them 2.5. I'll take Tampa Bay plus 2.5. I just don't have any faith in the Falcons. I haven't, and I won't.
Don, you want to take this one before me, or?
Yeah, I can't take the Falcons either. No way. I'm going against the Falcons.
Yeah, I want to take Tampa Bay with you guys, but there's just so many injuries that have pushed this number there. I will take Atlanta.
And they just, in one play, are already across the 50. We're overseas for the first time in the season, gentlemen. Sunday morning at 8:30 Central. Huh? Do what?
I don't believe anything was
said. No, you said something. I was talking on top of it. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, no. That must have just been a blip. I was just agreeing with you that we were in London.
8:30 a.m. Central Time, Jets and the Vikings. Minnesota's giving them 2.5. Give me Minnesota all day. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't you pick up their defense this week?
Probably. They're the number one defense on the planet right now.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we don't have a chat box so that Mike can talk crap right now.
This isn't even going to be close.
I think it's going to be close, but this is going to be one of those games because it's overseas. It's that first one. I feel like Minnesota's going to come out sluggish. The Jets are going to look like they might have a chance. It's going to be 7-3 going into halftime with the Jets in the lead. And then it's going to wind up 17-10 and Minnesota wins by a touchdown.
Don, what you thinking?
Minnesota. On this one.
And remember, this is one of my favorite things of the year gets to happen this weekend.
What's that?
I get to see people in England wearing Patriots jerseys, and it just makes me giggle. As we go to the actual early set on Sunday, Carolina goes to Soldier Field. Chicago's giving them 4. Give me Chicago. Carolina's in shambles.
That's a tough one for me because Chicago's defense is good. There's still nothing coming from that offense. And 4 is a pretty big number, even against a team like Carolina. Yeah, it might be 7-0. I'm still going to take Chicago. I don't like it, but yeah.
Don?
Take the Bears.
All right. Baltimore goes to Cincinnati. Baltimore giving 2.5. Some of these lines, I no. Give me Baltimore. It's not even going to be close to enough.
I've seen this all week, and I keep thinking it's a typo because it's supposed to be 12.5. And I'd still probably take Baltimore in that circumstance.
And they are feeding Derrick Henry, and this brings me joy.
Well, the only thing they were worried about is a backdoor cover because Baltimore keeps getting in the lead and giving up points.
Don.
I got to take Baltimore. That's a sweep on that one.
Yeah.
Miami goes to New England in the Cure for Insomnia game of the week.
I was going to say the Pea Break Bowl, but
New England's giving them a point. Can I abstain? This has to be just.
You know what I bet on this? The under. Give me the under.
36.
I still might take the under, and that's because it's going to be the Patriots 13-4 because it's going to be 2 safeties where the punter botches the kick.
You know what? Give me Miami +1 because they'll lose like 3-2. And then it'll be a push.
How about you, Don? Bring some sanity.
Miami, because if Miami wins, I'll make Rob happy. I'll take Miami.
That's nice of you. I'm still not taking Miami.
Dolphins do not dictate my happiness. They have not for years. Like
because we know the Dolphins only make you cry.
That is true.
But if they win, they'll make you happy for a little bit.
I now, granted, always up for a win over New England. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but man, this team has broken my heart this year, and it's nobody's fault, but uncontrollables. That's all it is.
It's really surprising to see how quickly everything fell apart just without Tua.
Jeez. Cleveland goes to Washington. Washington giving 3.5. Can they keep this momentum? I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but this team is playing at way too high of a level right now, and it makes me nervous.
Well, let's use the transitive property here. Washington beat the Giants. The Giants beat the Browns by double digits. The Giants lost to the Cowboys, who also beat the Browns by double digits. It tells me that Washington should win this by double digits. Give me the commies.
I mean, I'm going to take them, but still, Don.
Washington on this one.
Jacksonville still trying to get their first win of the year at home against Indy, and they're giving Indy 2.5.
The Don Ford curse. That's our new thing. The Don Ford curse.
Don is our John Madden.
Every time Don,
I don't care if
Super
Jacksonville
Bowl.
was given 35. I'd still take the Jaguars. They're going to have to win once this year.
The Jaguars? Are they now a bird and cat hybrid?
The Jags fan base watched our prediction show and went, no!
Well, no, because we gave him so much credit when he called them winning the division, but he had them no further. He's gone 2 straight years with them in the Super Bowl. Absolute garbage of a dumpster fire.
Buffalo goes to
the year before they almost made it. They made the playoffs.
But all those
called that one.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, Don. Buffalo goes to NRG Stadium and they're giving Houston a point.
It is now a pick'em, actually, sir. Let me rephrase. The Vegas line has moved to a pick'em.
Tampa Bay now in the red zone. I'm only taking Buffalo because I have their defense.
They got exploited. And you know what? Houston hasn't looked as great this year, but I think they're going to be good enough to win by a point. So I'll take Houston.
Don. Mile High Stadium has to acknowledge that the autumn wind is a raider. And they're giving Denver 3. I mean, they're giving Las Vegas 3. Give me Denver. This is going to be a comedy of errors. They're starting to get the wheels on, and Las Vegas is going the other way.
This feels to me like one of those games that's going to get decided by Max Crosby. There's going to be a bunch of people trying to this is what I call an emotion game. The Raiders are going to try and prove that they don't need Devontae Adams to win a division game, and they're going to come out with the thunder. Max Crosby is probably going to score a touchdown himself, stripping Bo Nix. I kind of think I almost said Oakland. I kind of think Vegas pulls this one out.
Don.
Take the Donkeys.
Levi Stadium in Santa Clara hosts the Cardinals this weekend. San Francisco's giving 7.5. This seems generous. I'll honestly, I mean, and I've got Brock Purdy, but I'll take this Arizona plus 7.5.
Sorry, Don, what was that?
I'll take Arizona too.
It feels like it's too much. We talked about it. It's at 7.5, right?
Yes, sir. Over under.
It's that hook. It's that dreadful hook. I will still take San Francisco because I feel like this is one of those ones where Arizona might try to push back, and it's just going to blow up on them.
Packers go to SoFi to take on the Rams. Green Bay is giving 3. I would take Green Bay -3. They're starting to fire on a few cylinders. Rams still trying to figure it out. But I think Green Bay wins this game. Touchdown Buccaneers.
Yeah, this one is the Packers actually having healthy people back, and the Rams just keep getting more and more hurt. Give me Green Bay. What was that, Don?
It's a sweep. Sweep.
Giants go across the country to Seattle. Seattle's giving them 6.5. I don't think it's enough. I think Green Bay will win by a touchdown. I mean, Seattle will win by a touchdown.
The biggest note for this one is Malik Neighbors in concussion protocol. Brian Daboll said that it does not look promising for him to play. Without Malik Neighbors, this is a toothless team and might lose by double digits. I will take Seattle at home.
Don, what you got?
Seattle too.
Sunday Night Football this week. Acupuncture Stadium.
Mike, I know you're watching. You are texting me. What time is it in London for you right now?
Does everyone sound like they're from London?
Because he's going to try and get pictures. No. He's there for the game.
Oh, I know. I took that from that.
Yeah, so he's going to try and get pictures of people wearing Patriots jerseys just for you.
Hashtag winning. Assurity Stadium hosts the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Ought to be a beautiful night up there in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's giving 2.5. You know what, Don? Give me your Steelers.
I got to take him on this one. I think that Dallas
there's a lot of injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries for Dallas, and with Brandon Aubrey being pretty much their only weapon right now outside of CeeDee Lamb, Ascension Field is really hard to kick in. So I feel like there's a chance that might be in his head. I can't believe I'm going to take the Steelers over the Cowboys, but here we are. It's a sweep.
Monday Night Football. The Saints go to Arrowhead. Chiefs giving them 5.5. I don't know how I feel about this. The Chiefs haven't really been blowing a lot of people out per se. They haven't showed the dominance. I'm still sticking by you're the champs until somebody tells you otherwise. But I think this is going to be closer than a lot of people. Give me Saints plus 5.5.
This feels like one where that is an inflated line. I have Rob's voice in my head saying you're the champs until somebody else tells you otherwise. I feel like I have to take the Chiefs because the Saints, after 2 really good weeks against subpar teams in Carolina and Dallas, I haven't really seen anything from them. And Kansas City is a great team, even while missing players. I'll say they win by a touchdown.
Done.
Saints.
We will do the abbreviated version of North America's favorite game show because the playoffs are on and Atlanta's out. What is the final run differential for the reigning champion, Chicago White Sox? Alex.
So it was weird with them winning a game by 7 last week to actually bring their run total down. I don't know that they won any more games after that. So I'm going to go with the 315, minus 315 for the year.
Don.
Last 2 times I said 320 and I was barely over. I got to go with the 320 for the 3rd time.
You're both over.
Oh, it went down. It was 318 last week.
I know. Wait till you hear this.
Oh, no.
Chicago White Sox finished the year 41-121.
Now I know what number I hope it is.
It's a 253 win percentage. They finished 51.5 games back in the division.
51.5. They are down by over a third of their season.
Yep. 23-58 at home, 18-63 on the road. They went 5-5 in their last 10 and won their last 2. They finished the year at a negative 306.
Oh, that was one off of what I was hoping. I thought
they gained a lot of ground in 4 days.
God, I was hoping that it was 305 just for us, Rob.
Real quick, in our Pick'em League, I am currently sitting 3rd. I am 3 games back of first place right now.
Nice.
So make sure you go to ESPN, be in on our Pigskin Pick'em for that. Let's get into TV talk and our RIPs and TV talk. One of which, John Amos, was just announced, but it was revealed that he passed away August the 21st. Absolute legend. Yeah. absolute legend. There was I saw a picture from a restaurant who posted a rest in peace to their mentor, Mr. McDowell, which, yes, good times, absolutely, but he will always be, everything goes back to Coming to America. It always does.
Breakdancing.
His what?
That scene when he meets the king and the queen, he goes, I feel like breakdancing right now.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that interplay between King Joffrey Joffre and John Amos's Cleo McDowell, where they're just like, nah, man, this is America, this is my house, and just that, so well done.
And also, we've talked about it on this show before. When I was in college, I was a big Days of Our Lives guy. And a lot of cast members are coming back for this revival, apparently. We lost Drake Hodgson at 70. He was the second Roman, then turned into John Black. He was the guy that they would come to deal with the priest John Black, who would have to do the exorcism of Marlena and the whole thing. But a lot of love shown for him, passing with the age of 70 this week, which, that doesn't help me not feeling old. that man was 70.
And he was Nana's longtime favorite. So shout out to Nana. But the thing about that is can you guess why he was Nana's favorite?
I cannot.
Before he was an actor, he was a baseball player. He was
Really?
with the Reds and the Yankees.
Sorry, I'm getting a message right now.
Okay. But yeah, before he took up acting, he was in the organization for the Reds and then eventually the Yankees, which had him in New York, that kind of exposed him to different things such as acting that became his life's work.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Let's get into stuff we watched this week. TV edition. I actually forgot to set my DVR, so I'll see if I can watch it. The 1 hour game show block on CW with Scrabble and Trivial Pursuit kicks off tonight.
Okay.
We got Scrabble with Raven Simone and Trivial Pursuit with LeVar Burton. So
always get LeVar Burton a pass. Yeah, interestingly enough, kind of teases with the other part of our show, but I believe it falls under television. I did watch the limited series Mr. McMahon.
What did you think? Because Ricardo reached out to me and I said, we haven't watched it yet. And I talked to him last night and he was saying like, he didn't learn much from it.
That is a fair statement. I don't believe there was anything to truly learn about it, but you can tell that they were definitely making a different kind of documentary. And then in the last couple of episodes, they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and put up the year we were interviewing these people, because otherwise it sounds really sketchy to hear The Undertaker talk about Vince in certain ways that he does.
That's fair.
So it's they definitely leaned hard after the fact into that, because it's really cool how they bookend something with it, and I'm not going to spoil it unless you want to ask me off air. But it's something that they do to bookend, and it's only a limited series of 6 episodes, and they do go quickly. But it's a real interesting look through those first few episodes, and then that hard left turn happens, and you're like, okay, I'm not learning anything from this, but it's noteworthy. It's well done. It's interesting for those that may not have known certain things. But I know that the way that they close it out is definitely not going to help a certain talent potentially return.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
started to watch that. I've watched about a half hour of the first one in a limited time.
Anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, mine. The new season of From is back on MGM.
Okay,
but the people stuff in that town, and if they go out at night, there's zombies and stuff. So starts off this season started pretty well on this one. So,
and we'll talk about MGM Plus here in just a minute. Apple TV has renewed Sugar for season 2. Hearing good things about that. HBO Max has renewed Industry for season 4, but they have canceled their reboot of Pretty Little Liars after 2 seasons.
Okay.
Okay, I got to stop this. Now it's doing a thing that I don't want it to do. There we go. Stop it for real. Let me just mute this because there's no reason for that to be happening. We have your Hal Jordan for your Lantern series.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm curious to hear yours.
Kyle Chandler, I'm interested. I just need show me footage, and then I can make a judgment.
I have a question for you.
Please do.
You are more versed in Green Lantern than I ever will be. And Kyle Chandler to me feels like because we love Kyle Chandler. He has been phenomenal in a billion different things. So please do not take this as a knock. But he feels like the kind of casting in something like this to be the straight to other people being more interesting.
That's kind of Hal Jordan too. He's very.
But that's why I'm asking if that suits.
It does, because Hal Jordan's not. He's. Okay. I think the thing with Hal is he's not nearly as cool as he thinks he is. And that's the thing about Hal. But I like the casting. But I want to see. I've seen some people being considered for Jon Stewart, which I really wish we'd have gotten this when we could have gotten Common to play him, because I think that would have been awesome.
You have said that for a long time.
And at one point, Romany Malco was going to play Jon Stewart, which I also would have been okay with. Because remember, he was MC Hammer. Let's see here. Have you boys heard of Fast Friends?
I have not.
HBO Max has greenlit a trivia game show based on Friends, which I need to make sure that they got my sister's audition tape. And it will take place on sets recreated from the show. Whitney Cummings will be your host. There will be physical challenges of some form having to do with some of the sets on the show. So we're going to see how that all works out. It's called Fast Friends. I believe it will debut in the spring. Hulu has
better just be called Leather Pants.
There's something wrong with leather pants. Hulu has canceled Unprisoned after 2 seasons. And it was announced this week that Hoda Kotb would be leaving the Today Show next year. Don was there.
I'm biting my tongue.
The Today Show?
Yeah, weren't you guys at the Today Show when you had your trip, when you went to Niagara Falls and all that?
No, we didn't go to the Today Show.
Oh, but you were on the Today Show, because remember they put the picture of you.
Oh, yeah, the cups, the mugs, the Sunday mug shot.
I still contend, and I've told this story on the show before, but it's been a minute. How I found that out is still one of the weirdest things. It is a Sunday morning. I am taking my Sunday morning constitutional. There is a transaction involved. And out of the corner of my eye, on my Echo show, I catch what appears to be Dawn and Faith and the words mugshot. So what do? But I stay in the bathroom long enough for it to cycle back through and go, what in God's name is happening right now? What did Dawn do at the Canadian border that has not only caused mugshots, but is now national news because it's on Amazon? I'm texting Alex going, I don't know what's happening right now. What is this?
No, and we can't repeat my reply on air.
No heads up, like, no, hey guys, we might be on the Today Show this weekend. There might be a pictures. No, none of that.
Oh, but he did learn his lesson by telling us for 3 months that he might be on Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah. But I will say this. The upcoming that mug is going somewhere else. And we're going to submit.
All right, fair enough. MGM Plus, we talked about them earlier.
For those who don't know, on the Sunday Today show, people submit shots of the Sunday Today mug you buy. It's a big yellow mug, and then people take the mug shots of them in front of like the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that, and they post them every Sunday. They put 7 shots up. And so we made it twice so far.
Field goal, Tampa Bay. MGM Plus has renewed Billy the Kid for a 3rd and final season.
Oh, it's a final season.
Yep.
Okay, it's a good show. It's good.
Netflix is doing an anime series for Splinter Cell called Death Watch. And Sam Fisher will be voiced by one Liev Schreiber. Because
I saw this.
You can do whatever you want. I'm a big fan. And they are working on a series based on the novel East of Eden with the Florence Pugh. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Prime Video is working on a RoboCop series. So get ready for that. The Roku channel, this is big news. And I'm surprised this isn't on Max. So there's got to be some kind of rights problems. The Roku channel is now streaming all seasons of an HBO series from the 80s called Dream On, which I loved.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I'm like, why is this not a Max? Because this was like, this owed HBO for most of the 80s.
Yeah. I think that there's a distinct
Dream
part,
On?
like you said.
Yeah, Dream On was a show about a guy who was just kind of navigating life, but all of his thought processes, like his reactions to stuff in his head, are clips from movies and TV shows. I love it. This show was great. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right that there is a rights issue. This feels like one of those ones that HBO wasn't quite sure what they were doing in the TV scope, so they were just like, yeah, you can own the rights to it. It's fine. We're just going to do what we do.
And Showtime announces that season 3 of Yellow Jackets, Hilary Swank is joining the cast. Season 1, I believe, is going to be on Netflix this month.
I think it's on. It's been on
the premise
Prime
of that
for a
one,
while.
Yellow Jackets.
This is a group of girls that were high school friends and secrets and lies and things.
Oh yeah, we did watch that. They were stuck or abandoned in the plane crash. Okay.
TV on
it was on Prime Video because it was part of the Showtime connection.
Yeah, but it's I think season 1 is available now on Netflix if you want to start watching that. And the reason I know that is another YouTube channel that I'm a big fan of. Shout out to Flick Connection. That guy does a great job. TV on DVD and Blu-ray this week. Season 1 of Arcane, the League of Legends animated series that was on Netflix. Season 1 of Castlevania Nocturne available this week for you. Season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. Season 12 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. The final season and complete series for NCIS Hawaii. And the complete series of the series Las Vegas that had Jimmy Caan in it that I very much, both my wife and I very much enjoyed. Movies RIPs, because we've got to have, like I said, it's been a crazy week. Chris Christopherson passes away this past weekend at 88. John Ashton, which just in the brand new Beverly Hills Cop movie, and Judge Reinhold put a wonderful tribute up to him. John Ashton at 76. These are two big names.
Yeah, Christopherson hurts. That was a cool one because that dude, you want to talk about genuine. I spent a significant amount of time thinking the dude from The Big Lebowski was an offshoot of Chris Christopherson. I swear I thought that was true.
I liked Wesley Snipes put up a very nice tribute to him as well. He's like, I'm sorry it took me a couple of days. I kind of had to put my words together. And that was a wonderful, wonderful tribute. Great singer-songwriter, great actor.
Yes.
He's the rubber duck. There was a song called Convoy by C.W. McCall they actually made into a movie for some reason in the 70s because that's what you did.
No. We got a great big convoy coming through the night.
It's rocking through the night, but thank you, Don.
I haven't heard forever. I was close. Convoy.
My favorite quote from Chris Christopherson again can't be said on this show.
All right, let's get into stuff we watched this week. Movie edition.
Oh boy.
I got 3. One we're going to talk about here in a little while. So last weekend before last now, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, celebrating the 50th wedding anniversary of an aunt and uncle of mine. Beautiful. My mom got a beautiful Verbo, and it's Verbo. It's not VRBO, people. beautiful house on the lake. But, it's a 3-hour flight. And I was like, you know what? I could listen to music for 3 hours, but let me just see what's on the American Airlines in-flight. And I saw this movie listed, and I'm like, you know what? It's actually a 2-hour flight. It's a 2-hour movie. Let me see what this bit is. Boys, I have finally bared witness to the movie ? Known as Madam Web.
Oh. Ew.
Don, in his last couple of movie reviews, talked about how he's making what he calls his Maze Runner guarantee of films that will be in his bottom 10.
Promise. Maze Runner, promise.
It is going to take, and I texted these words to Mark Walters earlier tonight. It is going to take an absolute cinematic abomination to knock this film off of the pedestal as the worst film of 2024. Because I went in like, it can't be this bad. It cannot be as, oh my God, it is.
No, and the other one was you texted me something comparable, and all I could think was that really this year?
It was February.
I've tried to repress.
You know when it just dropped on Disney?
It's on Netflix.
It's on
What's it
Netflix.
called
I
again?
think Disney's
Madam
trying to
Web.
keep it far away.
Well,
Madam
this is
Web,
Sony.
yeah, I never saw.
This is
Yeah, I
Sony.
saw the thing for it. Okay.
Oh, we need to make Dawn watch this.
Okay, I'm game. I'll watch.
I cannot in good conscience. Now, Don, if you want to, you've been warned. I thought I was prepared for how bad this thing was. I was not.
Put it this way, I'm going to have a long flight coming up, so I need.
You have been warned. Proceed at your own risk. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I also caught a documentary on Prime this week. I guess it's part of a series that was done at some point, but it's called Inside Story, and it's all about the making of Caddyshack. And it was done probably 5 years ago. And I think it's actually on the Caddyshack Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure. I very much enjoyed it. So there's definitely some interesting things that shined a light on some more things on a movie that Alex and I saw the other night. Seeing that beforehand kind of helped me. Anything you boys want to talk about that is not a new release that we're going to talk about later?
The only thing I saw was the one we were talking about.
The big elephant in the room.
We'll get there. Did you see that we're getting a biopic about Sublime?
No.
Excuse me?
We are. I thought I'd have your attention. We have the casting.
You know how I feel about this.
I know. And I'm telling you, we have the casting of Bradley Noel, and I'm on board because this person is talented. You're not, when I say the name, I'm going to need you to let it simmer, because I was like, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? He can handle it. Playing Bradley Noel in the Sublime biopic will be one KJ Apa. He played Richie on, why did I just lose the name of the show? Archie. I'm sorry. He played Archie on the CW show.
Riverdale.
He also he was in a movie called I Still Believe, which was a biopic about Jeremy Camp. I thought he did a great job in that. The kid's very talented. I am going to wait and see, but I feel good.
I'm going to say I don't hate the casting.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you saying let it marinate. I don't know how I feel about it, but I appreciate them going with somebody who, I don't want to say he's an unknown, because obviously we talked about Riverdale.
But he's not like he's not a marquee.
I was trying to think of somebody but I didn't want to throw out somebody that makes it sound like I'm crapping on it. But I was like, I'm glad you didn't say somebody like, oh, it's Chris Pratt. It's like, you get Garfield off this movie. No, I'm going to, like you said, I'm going to let it marinate. Sublime has a very near and dear part of my life. Still is. So I'm gonna pause. I'm going to think about it. If Jacob and the family signed off on it, that's all that matters to me.
Terrifier
playing
4
Lou Dog? That's what I want to know.
All I know right now. We're getting Terrifier 4 because apparently that thing has picked up steam. Okay.
It's October.
Scream 7 is set to release in February 27th of 2026. So you got that going for you. Here's another biopic casting that I'm interested in. John Boyega is going to play Otis Redding. And it'll be about the 10-year relationship with his wife, Zelma, who will be played by Danielle Deadweiler. At one point, there was a biopic that Will Smith was attached to in the 90s, which I would have been on board with, but I think Boyega can do this.
I don't see any reason he couldn't. I'm with you on that one. I feel like maybe not inspired casting, but solid casting.
Don, thoughts?
Game with it.
All right.
I think it's good casting for that role.
Announced yesterday, SNL alum Mikey Day is working on a live-action Rugrats movie.
I really thought you were going a different direction after the only thing we talked about Mikey Day with.
And the headline, I think it was Mikey Day, and the headline I read was, "And this will be pure nightmare fuel."
Do you think it'll be a good film, the Rugrats? Do you think they could do that? Okay,
I never got into it, so I couldn't tell you.
I don't think so. I really don't. It was a product of its era. It was an incredibly thin niche for children of a certain age. This feels like something that they're going to try and throw together to try and capture those people now having disposable income, and it's going to Madam Web the bed, we'll go with.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing. James Gunn has announced that he's working on a dynamic duo movie, but not the two that you would think. It's actually going to be Robin and Nightwing.
I did hear about this. I am intrigued.
You have my attention. And I saved this one for last, just for Don. Don, I want you at some point this week to either go to Apple TV Plus or Vimeo. Okay. There is a documentary that is debuted, or will be debuting. I think it came out this week, about a group of people in London putting together a stage presentation. A Broadway show, if you will. And the title of this documentary is Alien on Stage. Your homework is to check this out and report back.
Okay, Alien on Stage. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Movie new releases in places you get movie new releases this week. We have A Different Man. This has Sebastian Stan in it. After undergoing facial reconstructive surgery, Edward becomes fixated on an actor in a stage production based on his former life. This looks a little too weird for me.
It looks like definitely the art side of A24. I'm intrigued by it, but it is definitely... I'm stealing somebody else's line, but I cannot remember from where, so I do apologize, but it's The Elephant Man for a New Generation.
We also have The Outrun this week. This is not about a weird tag team in AEW. After living life on the edge in London, Rona attempts to come to terms with her troubled past. Hoping to heal, she returns to the wild beauty of Scotland's Orkney Islands where she grew up. This has the Saoirse Ronan in it. I did not get to check this one out, but I am interested. We also have Monster Summer. This is a film. When a mysterious force begins to disrupt their big summer fun, Noah and his friends team up with a retired police detective to embark on a monstrous adventure to save their island. Mel Gibson's in this. Lorraine Bracco's in this. Kevin James is in this. Patrick Renna. You're killing me, Smalls. He's in this. I'm looking to see if there's anybody else I recognize. Not so much. We also have a movie called White Bird this week. We can get... Nope, that's not what I want. Oh, stop giving me all these stupid banner ads. You're killing me, Smalls. All right. Yeah. You gonna do the thing? You gonna try to get up on me? No, you can't. Deal with it. White Bird. Struggling to fit in his new school after being expelled for his treatment of Augie Pullman, Julian is visited by his grandmother and transformed by the story of her attempts to escape Nazi-occupied France during World War II. This is a pseudo-sequel to the movie Wonder from a few years ago. So there's that. We have Things Will Be Different this week. This is a horror film, so you know I'm out. In order to escape police after a robbery, two estranged siblings lay low in a farmhouse that hides them away in a different time. They reckon with a mysterious force that pushes their familial bonds to unnatural breaking points.
That just sounds... No.
We have another horror because it is spooky season. The Forest Hills. Haunted by nightmares, Rico descends into madness in the Catskill Mountains. This has Edward Furlong, Shelley Duvall, Dee Wallace, Felissa Rose. Jennifer Pearl is in this. So it's got some horror movie veterans, as it were. We also have a movie called Take Cover this week. This is an action film. We have an Alice Eve sighting, boys.
That's always a good thing.
A burned-out professional sniper finds himself in an all-glass penthouse by a lethal competitor and must find a way to survive and escape with little to no cover between him and the killer. Willem Dafoe is not in this.
I was going to say.
And the big release this week, Joker Folie. I will say this. I liked it better than the first one.
That's not saying much.
It is fact. I think Don said it best in his review. And yes, I just said those words.
At www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That's our website.
Don't go, if you've watched trailers, it's not what the trailers make it out to be.
Not even.
It's not.
False advertisement to the
No, it is a musical. That's been out there for months. And it does have the Lady Gaga, who I'm a big fan of. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Go read the reviews. Now, I will not, and I will say this. This will not make my bottom 10 of the year. Because it's on my list now. It is mathematically eliminated from bottom 10 status.
Ooh.
It's not been a great year.
So
what you're saying is do yourself a favor and go see Wild Robot.
Movies on DVD and Blu-ray, places you get those things this week. A Quiet Place Day 1 available. The final of the X trilogy, Maxine, available for this week. Thelma, which I missed in June and I actually want to see. Harold and the Purple Crayon. We'll move on. Robot Dreams, which I've heard good things about. Mm-hmm. Kinds of Kindness. This is the latest from the guy that did Poor Things. So you got that going for you. Subservience. This is a weird Megan Fox movie. She's AI, but then becomes obsessed and things get weird. Isn't that what this is?
It feels very... No, I was reacting to something else. Oh. It feels very much like if Skinamax were still a thing, that's where it would be.
The movie that we talked about now twice in the last couple of months, Late Night with the Devil, available to you this coming Tuesday with David Desmalchin. Let's see.
I very much enjoyed that movie.
Kneecap, which Alex has seen and spoke very highly of this week.
There is no reason that movie should be as good as it is. Do yourself a favor. Caveat, Don, you'll hate it.
Baghead, which is a boogeyman movie, basically. Red versus Blue Restoration.
Oh.
Boy, I missed to have this game. Sleepy Hollow is getting a 25th anniversary steelbook. This is the Tim Burton version. Also a limited edition.
I like it.
Yeah, also a limited edition steelbook for Friday Night Lights.
No!
Go read the book. A limited edition steelbook double feature of Get Out and Us.
No!
Ooh. And the
Question,
Criterion.
what steelbook mean or whatever?
It's that kind of it's not a plastic case for it's with the metal ones that you see out there. A lot of times they'll have limited edition artwork and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Steelbook. And Criterion Collection has 2 films produced by Val Lewton called I Walked with a Zombie and The 10th Victim. Couple of quick tech talk things. DirecTV is acquiring Dish and Sling. So be on the lookout for that if you still have those services. One of the things I've always took, because we talk about a lot, we see these one-up arcades and all these things.
Yeah.
If it is one thing I am a big fan of, it is the light gun game. Big fan. If I can carry gun,
Time Crisis.
Pew, 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 pew. There is a company called Northwest Arcades that has basically done not like the one-up arcade cabinet, but just like the main piece of it that you can sit on a table. You'll find it on YouTube. Bring your checkbook. But it's like every light gun game ever. From Time Crisis to Duck Hunt. It's all there.
Oh, wow.
And he's got Mad Dog McCree on this thing. And it looks fantastic.
Wow, there's a flashback and a half.
He shows it. I mean, it looks fantastic.
I was not prepared for a Mad Dog McCree drop for the second time for me this week.
Dude, if I had $1,400 to burn, I would order one of these. Because they'll actually put whatever representation wrap on it for you. So like if you wanted Lethal Enforcers, they do that, which is another one of my favorites.
Phantom Arcades does a similar thing. Yeah. If you're looking, they're a higher price.
So yeah, so check them out on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube,
oh boy,
YouTube TV did a funny thing this week, and then nobody's talking about it. But it doesn't happen on everything. I noticed this first on Monday when I was watching the season premiere of SNL. I had it on my DVR, and I went to go fast forward commercials, and my little cursor on the status bar was a cowbell. And then I watched other stuff, and it didn't do it. So I'm like, that's interesting. And then I watched NXT. And as I went to go skip commercials on NXT, it was a little title belt. So I will be bringing you reports on other shows that it does this with. I'm a big fan. And now, this. All right, boys, let's get into it. The Cheap Popcast. We're going to talk about the week that was in our sport, known as professional wrestling. Due to the hurricane, and we hope everybody's doing well. We talked about this last week briefly. Make smart choices. Stay safe. TNA was having tapings that they've had to postpone. So tonight's episode of Impact will be a best of Bound for Glory. So be aware of that. And Ring of Honor didn't stream live tonight for some reason. I know it's an hour 20. That's all I know. Xia Li is now Li Ying Li. So adjust your roster accordingly. Masha Slamovich pulled a Bailey after they dropped the Knockouts tag team title. Alicia Edwards was running her mouth, and Masha Slamovich just starts talking English with a very American accent. So there was that.
Right.
They did have a Texas death match, which I would have booked differently, because with a Texas death match, you get the pin and then it's last man standing. Those two things happened like less than 60 seconds apart. So there was no real build to it.
You're holding a Bailey though with Masha.
Masha saying she understood everything Alicia had been running her mouth about the whole time because up until that moment, she only spoke Russian.
Okay.
Which now somebody else is, and we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
Watching WoW, we've now for the second time in the last 2 years done a Beast, a whodunit angle with the Beast. I don't know what's going on there, but I do like the new set. And MLW has announced their Kings of Colosseum will be in our Fairburg January 11th at the NYTEX Sports Center in North Richland Hills, which, as I've said, you walk in there and you can smell the hockey.
I still smell hay.
I know you do. Get into WWE talk. We have a very important anniversary to talk about, boys. We couldn't talk about it last week because we were intensive on something else. It was 7 years ago last week that somebody was listening to this show and we could prove it. It showed up in my feed and I was like, oh, that was 7 years ago.
That also tells us that I've been on the show for 7 years now.
Well, probably closer to 7.5 because it was in the spring, if I remember correctly. Speaking of which, I do still have, I found it today in my t-shirt archive. I found my t-shirt from the Voldemort of shows. I do have it.
Oh, wow.
Bad Blood is this Saturday night. I'll be watching it Monday because I'll be busy all weekend. I mean, stuff will happen. Now we're finding out the Lucha Brothers are not signed.
Well, they can't officially sign. They have agreed to terms, but AEW adding injury time to Phoenix,
right,
kind of puts a monkey wrench.
We also found out that Indianapolis is not going to get the first 2 nights SummerSlam. That will happen next year at MetLife Stadium, August 2nd and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. It still should be the Rumble, but that's just me. We talked about
you're using logic. This is professional wrestling.
No, I'm using wrestling logic.
Thanks for picking up what I put down.
Raw finally goes to 2 hours for a couple of months starting Monday. I'm very excited about this, but now we're talking about SmackDown going to 3 hours in January after the Netflix move.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Because USA has quotas.
We want to send a couple of shout outs. Angelo Dawkins and his wife Grace have welcomed their second child, a daughter. And Logan Paul and Nina Agdal also welcomed a daughter in the last couple of weeks. Watching the Roman and Cody Georgia Tech welcome back to good cinematic segments. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Especially the ending of "You're in my way in life." Just the way Roman delivers that line, like he is leaps and bounds ahead of where anybody would have predicted he'd be. Like he's so good, and the stuff with him and Cody is just great.
This is why he will wind up bigger than The Rock when he pulls the plug and goes to acting. I guarantee it.
And did they not delete old video graphics? Because when Bailey came out Friday, it said damage control on the screen. I was like, did that just happen? Yep, nope, that just happened. Fair enough. Ilya is now out with an ACL injury, 6 to 9 months. So the Dragunov, we want him to get better. Xavier Woods getting a little salty, but now we're not sure who's going to do the heel turn.
I think we had some pretty clear evidence of that on Monday.
And we have a new IC champion. I did not have that picked, especially this close to the plea.
You mean from 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't talked about anything.
I know, but it threw me off for a second because I was waiting to talk about like the new look of the title, making it look, and I always thought of it as the Jericho title because I always pictured him holding it more than anybody else with the blue on the gold. Looks really good with Uso's gear.
Yeah, I like it. And I like the new Uso Yeet gold on black. Big fan of the way that looks.
To give it to him, you think?
Come again?
Was it a mistake to put the belt on him? You didn't see
it
coming, but
not at all.
Okay.
Because that is the workman's title, and it pushes Braun Breaker into the world title picture, as it should.
That's the only good part about this. I would have went with somebody else. Jay, as enjoyable as a character as he is, it has steadily gotten worse in the ring for me, and his matches aren't as fun. So, you know what? If you're trying to make the crowd happy, good for you. I'm not in it.
NXT news, shout out. I didn't realize that Kelly Kincaid and Elton Prince were a thing.
I think I just learned that.
And they have a daughter now, Poppy Faye Howley.
Oh.
Which I noticed about British because she's been off TV for a minute. And about a month ago, she was on NXT, and I was like, something looks different. And somebody online was like, I think she's pregnant. And then there was they went to a wider shot, and you could see that she was pregnant. So shout out to those kids. And Elton Prince's tag team partner got married, and he married Stevie Turner. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, I'll let that sit for a minute. Brooks Jensen got married?
I'm still trying to remember which one's.
Go ahead. Which one's what?
Oh, that's why I don't remember who Stevie Turner is.
She's involved in the GM angle with Robert Stone.
Basic blonde lady. I don't care.
And Tatum Paxley and Javier Bernal are married. There's a lot going on in NXT. I'm just saying.
That was married? I heard they were engaged.
Oh, they are married.
People are hitting the speed button. Yeah. Fast forward.
We are hearing that there will be a new set after this.
A big body Javi on that one.
No. Rumors of a new set for NXT after this 2-week road trip. As we know, they have rebranded. We have new belts. They're going to need to grow on me. The world titles don't quite look right to me. It's a little too NXT. We know it's NXT.
See, I'm okay with it, but that's because I've hated the color belts for the entire time.
So. Bring back the movie belt. Shocked that Julia did the job with the return of Cora Jade, whose now color palette matches Roxanne Perez. So get ready for that.
Are we about to do like an entire women's invasion angle since we have Julia from Japan? We have Stephanie Vaquer. How you doing? From Mexico,
not wrong.
By way of Chile. And then you have Delta coming in from overseas as well. So we're about to have a triumvirate.
Nice subtlety with that sign as she was walking down that road with the 10 and 27, which, as we know, October 27th is Halloween Havoc. And new world champion. Trick Williams wins that match. I thought it was a good show.
I thought it could have been better, but it was a good show. You were right.
I'm always good for any time to have Triple H and Shawn in the ring at the same time. Because you just see the genuine love those two have for each other, and it just brings me joy. I'm going to be interested to see how this week goes. They'll be in St. Louis. Randy Orton will be getting bouncy, I guess. Oh,
no, he's going to be bouncing Javon Evans around the arena. That's what it is.
And apparently, you're going to get Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair will be in action. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, my thought process is based on something else that has happened, whether or not they're going to push that to NXT. And I don't want to step on anything that you may have noted for later.
That's the last things that I have for WWE. So go ahead.
Sky Pirates challenging Bianca and Jade Cargill. So I'm wondering if they're going to bump that to NXT to pop a rating.
Okay. I'm here for it. And it's now tie ball game again. Ooh, barely. AEW news. Alex, I am going to go live to you because you are better versed in this big announcement than I am, but I am intrigued.
So if you've been following us on social, number one, thank you. We love having you. Feel free to follow on all social medias for the Cheap Popcast or Clubhouse Show or the Clubhouse Podcast. Take your pick. Take all of them. You may have everything. There has been a long rumor of a new deal for AEW with Warner Brothers Discovery that has now come to light and confirmed the suspicions that we had to some level. The new deal is multi-year, big money. Some of the things in it have alluded to the idea that Warner Brothers now owns part of All Elite Wrestling, which is grinding their interest in. But your two biggest notes from it are that Dynamite remains on TBS Wednesday nights, will be simulcast on Max, but so will Collision, which is remaining on TNT, but will be simulcast on Max. I am curious to see if there is a bump in video quality, because we've talked about that before, just from a streaming standpoint. But the other big news we have is that the Bleacher Report era ends with January, possibly even sooner. But the pay-per-views will be on Max. Now, what they have said in the press release, we were hoping for it to be an old school WWE Network or Peacock model where the pay-per-views are included because we already pay for it. We're going to have to take another look at it when we get to that point, because what they have said is that for subscribers, it will be discounted rates for the pay-per-views. So I believe, do we all have Max, Don?
We have HBO Max, yeah.
Okay, so you have Max. Do you have the full premiere, or do you have the in the door?
Like the premiere, because we have a subscription with Max itself, HBO and Max.
Right, they have different levels. So if any of us don't have the premiere level, or we know somebody that does, I would be very curious to see if there's a different level of discount on the pay-per-view, but that has not been revealed at this time.
So do you think that if this is a fruition, do you think that it would go to they still do something like the Dave and Buster's and stuff like that?
Yeah, because the pay-per-views will still be available on DirecTV and things of its ilk. I'm wondering too if what the discount will be.
Now that's what I was thinking.
All of the AEW programming will be available all the way back to the beginning, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
I think
now, the thing I was curious about is, say you don't have a subscription, it's $60. If you have the, walking in the door level with Max, if it's 40, for us, maybe it's 20 or whatever it's going to be. I'm curious to see what that's going to be. But all I can say is good. I would love, but we don't give the finger on this show, but I would really like to the Bleacher Report era. It sucked. It sucked running. It was awful.
Yep.
I'm glad y'all are dead.
Mira,
if they give you like the catalog, like you're saying, when would it come to the fact that the you want to watch a pay-per-view from last year, would you still have to pay for it, or after a certain amount of time?
The rollout begins January. If it's from last year, you're talking about like when will it become available for free?
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to. Yeah. They have not made any announcements about that model, but they have said beginning at least January 2025, moving forward for the pay-per-views. So Bleacher Report may still retain the older ones.
Allegedly, Miro is asking for his release.
That has been confirmed, but they have not granted it at this point.
Well, they haven't used him forever.
That is also true. Well, there's been the other thing about the dissolution of his marriage and certain things not being it's tough to stay in shape and be excited when you're just sitting in catering and not getting to be happy. So
also allegedly injured, Wardlow allegedly out with a knee injury, we're hearing as well. We'll keep you up. I also read earlier this week that we didn't see Killswitch because he had double pneumonia.
He was found unresponsive in his condo by his fiance. He was putting off going. When they finally got him to the emergency room, they found pneumonia in both lungs. All reports are that he is now doing well, that it is being taken care of, and he will be right once he gets out.
Our best to him. Congratulations to Leo Rush. He won the 2024 Rev Pro British J Cup. So he's got that going for him now. Does anybody have more motivation to perhaps see Happy Gilmore 2?
I know who this is targeting.
Because
Don,
they
announced some
casting news. One of his sons is better than you, and you know it.
Oh, you're gonna be Happy Gilmore?
He's going to be in the Happy Gilmore sequel that was announced this week. So, and it's all they've been shooting now for about 2 weeks, and I believe it's going to go straight to Netflix. Something I mentioned to Alex, and he told me more about it because I was like, we had Grand Slam last week. Isn't the presentation for Grand Slam normally a little more flashy? And then Alex explained to me. Please.
So, Don, did you notice anything about the house for Grand Slam?
So I saw this. Are you talking the stage? It was like a
everything. How it looked much smaller than it had in years past.
Yeah.
Everything was shifted to one end of the arena to make it look more full. So everything was just cordoned off like for half the arena to fit people in. Now, granted, they filled that half, but that's why it looked like it was smaller, because it was.
I was also impressed that they started with Nigel and Danielson, which was
Nigel had a flight.
Yeah. Hook retires the FTW title, which I appreciated, so that way we don't worry about that anymore. And then we had to check in with a little place I like to call the 305, because I can't do this because I got headphones on. We know that MVP is All Elite. And I was impressed that he wants to talk business. This week, last night, we found out he really wants to talk business because Shelton Benjamin is now All Elite. And I am reading today that Lashley is not far behind.
Oh, yes. And he gets to work with his sister again, so that'll be fun. But
sister.
You want to take this one, Rob?
I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
Max Caster played his sister in a bit with WWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But there is a lot of talk of that. I'm wondering how much Lashley is going to... What's the phrase you would use, Rob? The thumb at the finger party? Since he is going to look like a gargantuan human, but not as, let's say, smooth technically with wrestling. I'm hoping I'm wrong in that scope. But it's always good to see P show up on TV. Plus, is Shelton Benjamin just the most underrated wrestler of all time, or is that just for me?
Him and his former tag team partner, who I have spoken to on a stage.
Yes, you have.
Moxley now has the #1 contendership. I don't know how I feel about that. But Danielson choking him out with a necktie, really?
I like that. I thought that was a good touch. Because did you see where he got the necktie?
He got it from Justin Roberts, didn't he?
Exactly.
And apparently Marina Shafir only speaks Russian now. I don't
well, because she can't cut a promo in English, so why not try something different?
Touchdown Buccaneers. I also thought that
Shepherd.
your main event last night was technically title for title, but only having the Continental Championship on the line for the first 20 minutes of the match. I was like, that's actually kind of a cool heel move.
I loved that. I loved that idea.
My first thought was, is that a rule of the Continental Championship that I don't know about? But even if it is, it's just a cool heel move. It's just it's a full-on heel move. And I was like, you know what? I love this. I'm here for this. Let's do this.
I dug it. The only thing that could have made that better was put it in a match that doesn't get a crap ending, but you have, Continental, International, and another random title they'll use, ROH TV title. Each one of them has a 20-minute time limit, but each title is on the line for a different segment of the 20 minutes and run a Broadway with 3 people.
Championship scramble. Let's go.
But tell me this was not the dumbest ending. Because it's like, so Bryan Danielson is the target of the BCC, but Okada gets distracted? This is stupid.
Yeah, and then we're going to have the tag match, and I don't know.
I like that they gave Wheeler Yuta something to do besides be the kid brother. That's about it.
Anything else you boys want to talk about?
I think we're set.
Don?
No, I'm good.
All right. There's a QR code over there. You should scan it and find out all our stuff. Like maybe you want to go to our website, www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Find out everything you need to know and some stuff you don't. Maybe you want to follow us on your social medias. We're actually doing ticking and the talking. It's crazy. That and Twitter is Clubhouse Show. Everything else is The Clubhouse Podcast, all 3 words in that order, or you will wind up somewhere else. You can follow me if you'd like. I would appreciate that. Everything is Yes, That Rob Urban. That is spelled ERVIN.
I'm Vexploit on all social media. If you'd like to help out the show, please go to ProWrestlingTees.com. We got a lot of different shirt options under the Cheap Popcast. We got a lot of different color options within those designs. If you're an artist and you want to contribute a design, you will get paid for any shirt that sells. If you have any suggestions for it, you can reach out to me at alex@theclubhousepodcast.com.
Get those awesome shirts that make me look good. ProWrestlingTees.com/cheappopcast. And on Twitter, I'm at IGBNUUU. And if you want to smash your place, email me, Don, to clubhousepodcast.com.
Speaking of in person, join us next Friday night at Smoky Rose. It'll be from 5 to 9. You're going to see us in all the great shows right here at Sunset Lounge DFW. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun. And if you want us to come do a remote for you, email Don. You can email me if you'd like questions, comments, concerns. Send me to Go Pound Sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Charlotte Marshall's on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. So until next week, when we're going to have 14 in a row. For Alex, for Don, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed, and Brittany Palmer's got some new art, so go check it out.